Hi, I'm Elizabeth Gallion, your New Hampshire licensed massage therapist with 16 years experience. So in a previous video, I had shown how to do a piriformis stretch while you're seated in a chair. These are two other versions of the piriformis that you can stretch that you can do, but it's laying down instead. So what you do is you can be in your bed as opposed to on the floor. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna lay down on your back. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your feet up. Now what you can do to begin with is you can put your hands out and then you can rock yourself from side to side. All right, and if you can get your feet in the air, and this gives me stability. So I've got my hands down, palms down, and I'm just rocking. And what this is doing is loosening up my lower back. All right, so after I do this, and I'm just breathing through it, I can even go slow with a breath. All right, so my back is nice and loosened up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant one foot on the ground, and my other foot, the ankle, is going to go onto the leg. In this case, the leg that is closest to you is the back of the butt that's going to be getting stretched. That's called your piriformis. So there are two choices. You can either go underneath, and I've locked my fingers underneath my leg, or you can go over the top and you can hold your knee over the top. Whatever feels most comfortable to you is the way that you should go. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a nice deep breath. You're gonna try and bring your knees up into your chest, and you're going to pull in and you're gonna breathe out. That's what it looks like over the top. If I was going to go underneath, it would look like this. And then I would put my legs down, I would switch sides, and I would do the other side. One side tends to be tighter than the other for some people because, you know, you sit with your back a little bit hunched, or you've got your leg over. That means that there's some squishing and some compressions or some elongating. One side's being stretched and one side's being compacted. And so therefore you might find that one side is a little easier, and that's perfectly fine. It just means that you go to the comfort of each side. So if that means that this side only goes this far, so be it. You know, let it relax into it, don't push it. If it means that this side is more tight and maybe this is as far as you can get to begin with, that's okay. Just meet your body where it's at, and it will loosen and it'll let go because it trusts you as you're going slower. So another pose that can stretch the piriformis, but you're standing, you're seated up as opposed to laying down. So what you can do, and there's variations of this one too. So one leg, the leg that's forward, is the one that's going to be stretched. So what you want is you want a 90-degree angle. If your leg tucks in, that means the stretch is off and it's not doing anything for you. So first things first, we want a 90-degree angle. The next thing is that my hips are right over. I am not to the side, and I'm not leaning forward. I am directly over, okay? So I've got my 90-degree and I'm over. Now, this might already be a stretch for people. My other leg, as you can see, is completely straight out, all right? So this is called the pigeon pose. I like to hold my foot because it likes to tend to creep in, and I don't want the stretch to come off. So I will actually hold my foot there, and I will have my other hand here to feel like I have my hips directly over. So what you'll do is you'll take a nice deep breath, and what you're doing is you're trying to just sink into, so my hips are going down. This might already feel like a stretch for you. For me, because I do this every day, the next step that I could do is I could go down on my forearms, right? I'm taking a nice deep breath, and I'm just sinking into it. If this doesn't feel like a stretch, all right, I want to make sure that my back is straight, so my forehead should not be the first thing that touches. If anything, it should be my chin would be the first thing to touch. So if I get my hands out of the way, that looks like this. Okay, so again, I've got the 90 degree, my hips are right underneath me, and I'm just going forward. So for some people, this pose right here is just perfectly fine. You will feel it in the leg that is bent. So if I switch sides, so you can see it from that angle, I have my leg kicked out underneath me so that it's straight. I've got the 90 degree, I have my hand holding me. I've got my other hand here to make sure that my hips are directly over. And then I take a nice deep breath, and I'm leaning forward. Wherever that means. So wherever I feel the resistance is where I'm gonna stay, okay? And I'll take a nice deep breath, and I'll let it go, and I'll stretch out. Again, normally I would have my hand up here so that I can just rest, but I have it out of the way so that you can see how my head is touching the mat. And that will stretch the back of your butt. The last adjustment that you can do is if you have a countertop that is fixated, right, so it doesn't move, and it is able to support your weight, not all your weight because all your weight won't be on it. What that would look like is if the countertop if I had the countertop here, right, and it's nice and secure, it's not going to go anywhere. What I would do is I would put my foot over it, again at that 90 degree angle, and what I would be doing right now is I'd be standing up as opposed to kneeling, okay? And so it's the same idea, only now I don't have to worry about being on the floor, I don't have to worry about being on my back and using my arms, I can use gravity to help me. So it may be that I am just standing up and I've got my leg here and that's already a stretch. If it is not a stretch and I feel like I need more, the way you get more of a stretch is that you kick your foot out that is standing, you bring it back, all right? And that will give you even more of a stretch. If that's not a stretch where, okay, I can feel that, the next step of it is to take a nice deep breath and to get comfortable of leaning forward. So again, if that means going up on your forearms, if that means that that's too much and I need to just have my hands here, everybody's different for how tight their piriformis is, so you only go what's comfortable so that way your body relaxes into it. So and again, my foot, because I would be standing, is when I kick it back, I get more of a stretch. So if I find that it's too much of a stretch, I can bring my foot back up underneath me and the stretch comes off. So for some people, it's a matter of just standing here and you don't do any of the forward, you just breathe through it and you relax and you sink so that you're just getting more comfortable for the position.